All over the world. Welcome to another promising edition of Kwara Tabloid Podcast. My name is Musa Ali, and together with me today is...
Good day, viewers at home. I am Fatima Bintu Diko. Stay tuned and watch us.
Yes, today on Kwara Tabloid Podcast, our topic is going to be very sensitive and very important for all. And according to the saying, fire is always a very, very good master, but a very, very bad servant. As far as the issue of fire incidents, especially at this point in time when the year is coming to an end and when we do approach the Harmattan season, it is more often than not a recorded phenomenon that fire is always a major crash from everybody, from city to villages, from town to town. We are so lucky and happy to have with us this morning men from Federal Fire Service, Kwara State Command. And among other things, let me welcome AXF Toyin Ibrahim, Head of Investigation, Inspectorates and Enforcement from Federal Fire Service, Kwara State Command. You are most welcome, sir.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you. And together with me, we have ASF1 Ahmed Oladipo, Head of Training. You are most welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We are happy to have you today.
Happy to be here, sir.
And last on the list of the entourage is ASF1 Madibo Ibrahim, the PRO.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. So today, the Kwara Tabloid podcast is very happy to have you. And our conversation today is going to dwell on your works, your activities, and of what relevance are the people in our community are meant to take your office. First of all, I come to understand one beautiful fact that you people are going to celebrate the Fire Safety Week. Sir, can you just dive into that? What is that all about? What do we think is coming out of that for the people of Kwara State?
Thank you very much, sir. The National Fire Safety Week is a national program that is done nationwide across the 36 states of the Federation. This period are just to mark an orientation and sensitization period across the 36 states of the Federation. However, there are a lot of activities that are always streamlined for this week. You know, as we have it in all organizations, when we approach the Ember month, part of our own policy is to organize a safety week that will make awareness to the people that we are now approaching the dry season, and what are those things that will be done during the season, what are those things that we shouldn't be doing to keep us safe and protected. Part of in the past, it is an activity that we've been doing the past 5 years of our existence in Kwara State. It engages a lot of activities like we going out to markets to carry out sensitization to the masses, public institutions, secondary schools, and higher institutions too. In fact, aside the National Fire Safety Week, in the past where we do capture all these aforementioned places, but recently, if you notice, you follow the trend of our activities. Our state controller, in person of the CF, Mary Bakari, just brought another approach to our National Fire Week.
Wow.
And that approach is what? To capture religious institutions. The primary target of this sensitization and orientation is to go to places where there are large gathering of people, where there is a congregation where we can talk to people en masse. And aside using the traditional medium of using radio, television, and social media to reach out to the people, most physical contacts can come through schools, religious body, as well as markets. In the past 1 month, we carried out sensitization in various churches in the Ilorin metropolis, namely Seed of Christ, located at Unity Junction. We've been to CAC, same at that Unity Junction. We've been to Living Faith Church along Fati Road. So that would be as if we are covering the Christian body without giving cognizance to other religions too. For the Islamic part, we've been to Zumra to the Anabiya, located at Okekere. In fact, the audience and proprietor of the schools really want to thank them because they gave us a warm reception. And the Caliphate of Anabiya was so impressed with us coming to discuss the importance of safety to students of their school. So another appointment was scheduled for us that the Zumrat community, they do have a weekly tafsir at Ansar Islam LGA school where they do weekly tafsir. We went there. We used that platform to talk to the people about the importance of safety. What are those things that they will do if fire emergency occur? What are those things they are going to do for fire not to occur? And basically, a lot of households, a lot of individuals, they have what we call a portable fire extinguisher in their car. Most people have these gadgets just to evade them from security checks.
Yes.
You know, it's one of those criteria that for your vehicle to be roadworthy,
Right.
you have to have a fire extinguisher in your car. How many people know how to use it? How many people know the value of fire extinguisher? And how many people even maintain their fire extinguisher? There are people who have these extinguishers in their car for years, and this portable extinguisher are meant to be maintained at every 6 months. So that is why we have to reach out to large congregations. Aside that, we go into that Zumra. We've been to Sheikh Udus Koro Islamia along Okefuma. We've been to Darul Ulum in Isale Koto. We've been to Darul Kitab, owned by the National Imam Sheikh Solar Beru, and other places like that. The importance of this is that we are telling the public that we are not segregating. You're not going to a formal education sector. Does not mean the Christian and Islamic orthodox knowledge that you are gathering. It does not mean benefits should not come to the people. The problem we have about fire service or fire safety is people take less importance to safety, because safety is everybody's business. That is just the reality. It is everybody's business. So if we segregate people, that okay, these people are the business owners who values their property, organizations of your type who have invested millions in a studio session like this, you know what you've actually invested, you know the importance of safety. However, the job is saddled with what? With two basic responsibilities: safety of life as well as protection of property. If you are focusing more on defending the property in the economic or the individual that has life in them, you have to actually focus on them. So those are activities we've been doing prior to the National Safety Week. But the epicenter of our coming here this morning is to discuss about the National Fire Safety Week that will be commencing this Saturday. And on the first day of this program, it is targeted towards the youths, because we discover youth forms the largest percentage of the population of any society. And that is why even in the National Assembly, you see the quest for not too young to run bill, you see the inclusivity of youth, clamor for youth engagement, that even media houses globally now celebrate governments who have involvement of youth. That's why some government they celebrate that have the largest number of youth ministerial appointments, youth commissioner appointments, youth House of Assembly appointments. That gives credence to the fact that the youth should be a population that should be focused and centered on. And that's why from our national headquarters, they designed a program called Catch Them Young Initiative.
Wow.
This Catch Them Young Initiative is to ensure we take safety message to the younger generation. But in our own end here, we are starting with students of senior secondary school. We want to establish what we call a safety club across schools within Kwara State to ensure that they are safety conscious at all times in their premises, in their home and all. But to be very, very tasking for us to start going to schools one after the other. That was what took us to the Honorable Commissioner's office, the Kwara State Honorable Commissioner for Education, Honorable Lawal Olombebe. We met him, we engaged the ministry, and they gave us an approval that it will be best we should have a prototype or a test run of this initiative by what? Doing quiz and debates among students of public and private secondary school to arouse their interest. When people compete among themselves in terms of knowledge-based competition, it do arouse a very, very big keen interest in them. And that's why today we have randomly selected 18 private and public secondary schools within Ilorin Metropolis, covering the 4 local governments within the metropolis, that is Asa local government, Ilorin local government, Ilorin West local government, as well as Ilorin South local government. So they will be the one competing against each other. On Saturday, within the premises of the Federal Secretariat that houses the Kwara State Command of the Federal Fire Service is where we'll be starting the first day program of the quiz and debate. The first round will be held, then there will be a knockout phase, and after that knockout, then on Tuesday, those who qualify for the next round of the competition will still come again on Tuesday. They will converge, compete against each other, and the winners will be declared. So on Monday of our program, it's called our flag off program. That day is just meant for us to actually announce to the public that the Fire Safety Week is here in 2025 to start. By 10 a.m. on that very day, we're inviting dignitaries, including media personalities, head of security agencies, to come and flag off the program. After unveiling the flag off and declaring the program open, the session ends. Immediately, there will be a convergence of another set of persons where we have a public lecture. I know our anchor for today will actually deliberate further or take us through that in a bit by bit. I just want to give a whole summary of what we have to do. So there's a public lecture on that very day too.
Okay.
And that public lecture is meant for us to invite key stakeholders in the society, traditional institution leaders, media personalities, security agencies, health workers, and name it. We are there to give them a public lecture about the importance of safety, the role of you and I in ensuring we are safety conscious at all times. I think that will be the program we're having on that same Monday. Why, as I said earlier, Tuesday will be the grand finale for our quiz and debates competition. On Wednesday, we'll be visiting schools, tertiary. On Wednesday, we'll be visiting markets, market campaigns, where we'll go with our men to various markets in Ilorin Metropolis. It is on record that within Ilorin Metropolis, Oja Tutu is one of the most vulnerable markets in terms of fire accidents that we've gone to. Year in, year out, there's always reported cases of fire incidents in Oja Tutu market. However, we'll not be focusing only on Oja Tutu market because of their vulnerability. At the same time, we have to let others get involved too. So we'll be capturing Ojoba markets, the mandate markets, the markets at Zongo, the Pata market too, do experience fire incident. There was a time around 2 years ago when a fire incident occurred in their animal livestock markets. A whole lot of animals were engulfed on fire, and it was a big loss for them. In recent time, the Amudoka Dike building on the road too was on fire in recent time too, and so that's why we'll be going to all these markets. And from our own investigation, fire in markets occur mostly out of negligence. Negligence is always the major causes of fire, and that is the more reason why you have to take the message to them, or take the campaign to them. If you're a shop owner, this is what it takes you, this is what it entails for you to be safety conscious. While on Thursday, we'll be going to tertiary institutions to talk to students of tertiary institutions about the importance of safety. We all know every tertiary institution that we have, they have their own regulatory policies for students. But our own generation, that differs from yours, there's this what we talk ourselves, Gen Z, that we always have our way around to manipulate every policy and every law. It's no insult to the youth generation because I equally belong there. But we do want to prove to the other generation that your own way of doing things is archaic in nature and we have our own modern ways of it. But however, safety is something that doesn't have, it has a uniformity in terms of its law, in terms of its principle. So that's why we're capturing students of tertiary institutions to talk to them. While on Friday, we have our award, Safety Ambassadors. There are companies who we have carried out inspections, risk assessments in them, and we see that their level of safety compliance is top notch. I think what is worth doing is worth doing well. For those who are well safety compliant, we have to acknowledge them to arouse other stakeholders' interest in terms of safety compliance and dishing out ambassadorial awards to individual. So I believe Aji Adiko, aside being an Aluta woman who like you, but gender sensitivity includes you to be a safety ambassador.
I'll be glad to receive that.
So our message will fly more on the air. And
I'll be glad to receive that.
You will have your injection into our own organization.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
I am really impressed. I have to tell you. All the questions I will have asked, you really touch it. But notwithstanding, let's ask ourselves. You will be going to higher institutions, you'll be going to secondary schools, you'll be going to the market. I'm telling you, there are still a lot of people that will be left out. Most of my audience, that is why you are here now. I want you to tell me, what are those simple techniques? Ember time is coming, Harmattan is coming. What are those simple techniques people should put in place to avoid fire at home and in their shop and maybe in the offices? Please, sir.
Okay. Good morning, and we are glad to be here.
Thank you so much.
So, one of the things we do in Federal Fire Service that people don't know is not, people are of the opinion that we only turn out when there is a fire disaster or tragedy out there. However, we do more than that. So I'm privileged to be leading the Inspectorate Investigation and Enforcement Unit.
All right.
And fire does not give you message that it's coming.
No.
It's always come unexpected. And it doesn't respect anyone. It doesn't care that you are a landlord or you are the owner of the business. So we do tell people that prevention is very, very good. And that's the most important aspect. We do say prevention is better than cure. But in Federal Fire Service, we say preparedness saves more life than extinguisher. Preparedness saves more
life
yes,
than extinguisher. So instead of you having the extinguisher, be prepared.
Yes. So how do you prepare? What do we do? What do we do? So the first thing we do is we need to know things that can actually result to fire in our homes, in our offices, in our businesses. We need to know what sources of fuel we have there. And when I'm talking about fuel, I know an average person will be thinking, okay, do you mean petrol, diesel? No, we say that fuel is anything that can burn. Anything that can burn. So you need to know things that can ignite fire in your businesses. And that is why when we carry out inspections. So it's not Fire Safety Week is just like our end of the year kind of sensitization. But all years round, my department.
I want you to tell us what are those safety people should put in place.
Yes.
How should we prepare?
How should we prepare? We need to have fire safety gadgets.
Like what?
So we need to have as simple as fire extinguishers.
Everybody, every home.
Every home is supposed to have fire extinguishers. Every home is supposed to have fire blankets. Yes, every home is supposed to have these things because these are the equipment you can use to combat fire at the incipient stage.
And you need a lot of sensitization to tell us we have to have all this.
We've been doing that.
I'm hearing this for the first time. And I'm sure my partner will be hearing this for the first time too.
We've been doing that.
We only know where execution will be behind at the back of our car.
No.
We don't even use it, we only keep it there.
Fire extinguishers is not just for cars. We have what we call fire protective systems and devices. We have the passive and active types. So when you are talking about these things, you are talking about water sprinkler systems. But some of those things can be capital intensive. But we know businesses that we recommend them having those things. But for a normal person, an individual in a home, you're supposed to have even as little as the 5 kg CO2 or the 3 kg DCP at your homes.
Okay.
So when there is fire, these are some things you can use. And when you don't have them, there are other things you can do depending on the type of fire. So as simple as putting a thick towel in the water, you can use that to cover maybe you are frying something and there is fire resulting from it. As simple as using the lid of the pot to cover it. You can.
There's this question I've been wanting to ask somebody. Let me ask you this question. Most of the time when we are cooking in the kitchen and we're using our cylinder, they tell us do not receive phone near the cylinder. Is it true? Is this
Yes, yes.
what is the connection of our phone?
Yes, their
Gas.
phones do radiate.
All right.
There is a phenomenon called radiation.
Okay.
They do emit, what do you call it? Electromagnetic waves that you can't see.
Yes.
That you can't see visibly. And one thing is, when our phone is low, the higher the radiation. So all
So when your phone is low,
yes, when
that
the
is when
battery
you
is
are
low,
not even
that is
supposed
when you are not even,
supposed
not
to keep
even
your
just
phone in your
in our
kitchen.
cities, even when you're in filling stations
All right,
and
filling
all.
station.
Yes,
All
yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And let me go back to the questions, especially that has to do with your response on the Gen Z. Yes, you see, you mentioned activities that is tailored towards catching them young. But I want you to be more specific. For the schools that we have these days, more often than not, public schools are not fire conscious. In fact, fire conscious is one of the least in their priority. They've been thinking of toilets, they've been thinking of water supply, they've been thinking of even writing materials. So I want to ask you, what basic thing would you put in place to ensure public primary and secondary schools, where we have highest number of pupils, have embraced concept of fire safety from the ground?
Thank you very much, sir, for that beautiful and wonderful question. The approaches are of two types. To solve this problem, there are multi-dimensional or multifactorial approaches to solving a problem. There is a role of government in this, there's a role of the students, and there's a role of the school management, or let's say the school authorities in addressing this problem. On the part of the school authorities and the students, the number one important thing is what? Education, which is the bedrock of why those students are not even in their houses, and there's an aggressive campaign that they should be out of the number of out of school children should be reduced. Then the state government is even going on a free education system. That shows the importance of education. For a knowledge that you don't know, the lawyers they said ignorance is not an excuse before the law. The same way in terms of fire safety, not having this education about fire safety shouldn't be an excuse. To have a better and solid fire safety campaigns in public and secondary school, that is the reason for us to create what is called a safety club. That safety club will be an interface between the teachers of the school and the students of the school. It is from there they will arouse their interest. They will, at every point in time in their curriculum, where they will have to inculcate knowledge about fire safety in their curriculum. With platform like this or aggressive campaign like this, I believe in the nearest future we have a course design for safety in our schools. The same way the government is addressing the issue of technology to be included in what people will strive towards, the same way government is addressing the introduction of history in our curriculum. There's need for us to have safety knowledge too, because it is the students, they are very good at reminding parents. We parents, we have a lot of enormous responsibilities on us that we tend to forget most of the things. But your knowledge, your children, or your what, if they are well equipped with safety knowledge, they will come on to remind you, mommy, we are not going out to let's short our electrical system. Where did you get it in our safety club in school? They told us these are the elementary safety and basics that we have to do. And that's why it is important that we go on aggressive sensitization and orientation of students in public school. Other thing about safety in our public and private secondary school, just like the host has rightly said, they have the largest population. In fact, private schools, it's a business-oriented organization. That's why the fact that they are meant for educational development. They have their policies. Some schools, their marketing strategy is we shouldn't have more than 10 students in a class, and that's the reason why they charge. But our public schools, the numbers in the classes too, is part of the safety knowledge you have to inculcate. The lesser the number of students in school, the more better government will prepare for their safety. Because when it comes to safety, it is a very, very comprehensive and a very broad knowledge. You have safety in the classroom, You have safety outside the classroom. You have safety on the assembly ground. You have safety while lectures, teaching is ongoing, and we have a whole lot of series of safety measures to be taken at each stage of our interaction between the students and the teacher. Part of the safety in classroom is for the classroom not to be congested. There should be a dual entry. Even in classrooms where there are single entry, we must ensure that our walkway must be free at all points in time. When emergencies occurred, easy movement of persons will avoid students trampling upon each other. So if there is a well-organized classroom, a free walk-in system and exit system, it will be very, very important. And again, in our schools, there isn't for us to have what we call a muster point. Most of us will go to the bank, when we go to the hospitals, we'll see a signage that is tagged muster point. What this means, as basic as it is, it has its own value. And what is the importance of a muster point is when emergency occurs, it's a point of convergence where everybody are meant to be when emergencies occur. And that safety is in school, in public schools particularly, is for government to, or the school authority to take a very, very stricter measures in ensuring attendance of students are taken into what consideration. Most of the schools, what the management are after is teachers. You clock in and you clock out. But how well are we taking cognizance to the attendance of students? The importance of attendance for we fire safety personnel, it's outweigh what we are just seeing it on papers. The importance is when we come for any emergencies like that. The first thing we do ask you is how many people are in this classroom, how many persons have converged at that point of emergency. For us to carry out rescue operations, the number you have on your record will be what will determine, okay, there are 20 students in this classroom. The other of the 20s are at the muster point. We now know, okay, we are not targeting saving any life inside, we are targeting saving a property. Wow. But if you get there and you tell us we have 18 students, 20 students in the classroom, you have 18 outside at the muster point, and there are 2 persons left, it becomes an issue for us that we have to carry out the rescue operation to find and ensure that we have a way of getting, even if the whole classroom is in flame, we have our door entry procedure, we have our approaches to, we have various tools to break in, to find an alternative route to ensure we go and save that person. But for a place where we don't know the population of the person in that classroom, we will just discover at the end of the day, after we've completely extinguishing the fire, discover we begin to see lifeless body inside that place. The value of education is very, very important and cannot be undermined. On the part of the government, there's need for them, the way they are equipping schools with IT gadgets, writing materials and instructional materials, there's need for them to provide safety gadgets for schools.
Basic
safety gadgets for schools. And what is the number one safety gadget they have to provide for schools is to ensure that at the door of every classroom there should be a fire extinguisher at the door of every classroom.